Hey, it's Monday. I know you feel blessed. I hope you feel refreshed. I'm back. I got another one, and today is a new week already, y'all. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to be doing a book commentary this morning. So, this book is another viewer's choice, and it was recommended by Heather Hudson. Heather Hudson at Chronic Crafting. So, this is another self help book. I got it on Audible and it was about a 5 hour read. And as I went through, I took certain quotes, certain sentences right out of the book that I thought were pretty interesting. But overall, in this book, he's given us a lot of stories. A Tom or his the author is James Clear. He's given us a lot of analogies and a lot of stories in this book, and it's very interesting. The first couple chapters talk about him and his past, and basically, he was in a really bad accident that changed his life forever, and it just really changed his entire way of thinking. So, as I got into this book, I thought it was even more interesting because I know people who have had tremendous accidents and have been changed forever. So, hopefully, if you haven't already checked out this book or already read this book, you would be interested maybe after getting into it. There's 20 chapters. So for these 5 days, I'm going to try to, I'm hoping to get it all done in this one week, which is why I had to take an extra week to read the book because it's pretty interesting, very very interesting, and it is basically just trying to change our habits. So as always, I'm going to try to keep it short for those coming back on the replay, but I am coming on at 6 a.m. this week just so I can get this done to completion. So good morning, Mr. Terry. Thanks for joining me today. I appreciate you. And good morning, Steve Gilmore. Thank you. I appreciate you. Good morning, Full Mama. I appreciate you. And hey, good morning, Josh. I appreciate you for coming in. So, um, book. If I could summarize the book in three sentences, it talks about habits, bad habits, good habits, and ultimately, an atomic habit is a regular practice or routine that is not only small and easy to do, but it's also the source of incredible power and a component of the system of growth. That's interesting. So, an atomic habit is not only a regular practice or a regular routine, but it's the small and easy things that we do to uh, put that all together to make it an incredible power and incredible growth within ourselves. Um, the second sentence is bad habits repeat themselves again and again, not because you don't want to change, but because you have the wrong system for change. That's interesting because how many of us have that one thing that we want to change or that we try to make better and we just can't get it, and that's because maybe we need to change our system is what the author is suggesting. Number three, changes that seem small and unimportant at first will compound into remarkable results if you're willing to stick with them for years. That's interesting because a lot of us, depending on what it is, we want it to happen, we want it to happen now, in our time, um sorry, yeah. But yeah, we have to wait sometimes years to change these habits to make our lives even better and even more powerful. Another interesting statement there. So if I jump right into chapter one is called The Surprising Power of Tiny Habits. There's just a few quotes right here that were interesting, maybe 10 or so, not even 10. And there's also a lot of picture graphs in this book. I'm not going to share them on my screen because my internet is uh, it can be wishy-washy. So that's just another encouragement for you to get the book and see it yourself. Even if you got it from the library, I think the library gives you a couple weeks to read it, and you would definitely get done by then. So Number one, success is the product of daily habits, not once in a lifetime transformations. Interesting. So the habits that we set up for ourselves daily are going to set us up for success and not so much those things that we obtain once in a lifetime to transform us. Number two, you should be far more concerned with your current trade trajectory than with your current results. So the word, let me look it up again because I did look it up because that's a word that I have never heard of before. And it means um, the curve that a body describes in space. Okay, so it's a path or a progression and development. So you should be far more concerned with your current path than your current results. Okay, interesting. And there again, it's telling us that, things are going to take some time. Things are not going to be rushed. That's interesting. Yeah, absolutely, Mr. Terry. Number three, your outcomes are a lagging measure of your habits. Outcomes are a lagging measure of your habits. So a lagging measure, meaning maybe I'm procrastinating or maybe I'm putting things off. Your outcomes are a lagging measure of your habits. Hmm. Your net worth is a lagging measure of your financial habits. Okay. Your weight is a lagging measure of your eating habits. Okay. So maybe I'm lagging somewhere. Maybe I'm cheating somewhere. Okay. Your knowledge is a lagging measure of your learning habits. Wow. So that means maybe I've lagged off of seeking knowledge. So my learning habits have fallen off. This is pretty interesting. And like I said, he does a lot of analogies. So to read the book is even more surprising. Your clutter is the lagging measure of your cleaning habits. You get what you repeat. Interesting. Yep. And that makes a lot of sense because, we keep putting things off and putting things off, then of course we're never gonna achieve what we're trying to achieve. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Terry. Thank you, Anne Marie. Thank you, cousin Steve. Hey, T. Blair. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you. Okay. So here's the next one. Time magnifies the margin between success and failure. Okay. So again, that's telling us that things are going to happen slowly, that things are not rushed. So if it magnifies the margin between success and failure, then the more time that we take or that is given, then the more time we have to become a success, whether that thing become a success or a failure. That makes sense. It will multiply whatever you feed it. Okay. Good habits make time your ally. Okay. So there again, see, this is telling us that good habits are formed through time. That's interesting. Bad habits make time your enemy. Yeah, because then you're wasting your time. I see. Let me know if you're enjoying this so far. And like I said, it's just a bunch of quotes because the book is just too much to try to read like that. But woo, it's too much to try to summarize the book for you, especially when I'm trying to get it all done in 1 week. Um, Goals are about the results you want to achieve. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, of course. You set your goals so that you can achieve them, or want because you want to achieve them. Systems are about the processes that lead to those results. Okay. Yep. So we need to um, have some type of routine and system in place for our lives in order to get the results that we want. Those goals. Okay. And time is definitely on our side because we don't want to rush it. If you want to predict where you'll end up in life, all you have to do is follow the curve of tiny gains and tiny losses and see how your daily choices will compound 10 or 20 years down the line. Okay. If you want to predict where you'll end up in life, all you have to do is follow the curves of tiny gains and tiny losses. So, there again, he's saying that things are going to happen in small increments. Not everything is going to happen at once. So those tiny things that benefit us and those tiny things that make us feel like we're falling off, we can just keep trying them and keep trying them daily. And over time, there again, down the line, we might get to where we're trying to get to. Breakthrough moments are often the result of many previous actions, which build up the potential required to unleash a major change. Breakthrough moments are often the results of many previous actions. Okay. So maybe if I bump my head so many times, then finally I'll have a breakthrough and realize not to do this thing anymore so that I don't bump my head anymore. Okay. Which build up the potential required to unleash a major change. So if I stop going this route that's going to make me bump my head, then I am potentially able to implement some changes that I'm trying to implement, but only with time because it takes time for me to realize that I got to stop bumping my head. um, in the book, James Clear talks about the plateau of latent potential, and basically, it is a graph that I'm not able to share, but it's a graph, and it's just showing us on one part of the graph is what we think should happen, on the other part is what actually happens. And then there's in the middle, there's time. On the side, there's results. So, just depending on what has happened, if we think that this should happen and we don't give it enough time and something else actually happens, then we're set up for disappointment later. So, that's what the plateau of latent potential is. And when we finally do break through this plateau of potential, it feels like an overnight success, even though we know that these things are not happening overnight. It could feel that way because we finally got down to the bottom of okay, things are just not going to happen the way that we think they should. They're going to happen the way they're supposed to. Make sure I didn't miss anybody real quick. Please let me know if you're enjoying this or following along. Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks for being here. The purpose of setting goals is to win the game. The purpose of building systems is to continue playing the game. Interesting. Okay. So my goal is to win the game, but I need to put a system, a routine into place so that I can keep playing the game. True long term thinking is goalless thinking, meaning my goal is not always to win the game, but just to be in the game itself. It's not about any single accomplishment. It is about the cycle of endless refinement and continuous improvement. Exactly. So I'm going to keep playing the game. I'm going to keep getting better at the game, but my um I don't necessarily have a long-term goal to always win the game, but just to improve. This is a really good book, you guys. Ultimately, it is your commitment to the process that will determine your progress. Exactly. It is the commitment to the process. If whatever that is, if I'm committed to it, that is going to determine whether or not I get what I'm expecting out of it. Habits are the compound interest of self improvement. Okay, yep, exactly. As we self improve, we put in these habits and routines in place, and eventually it becomes an interest because it's a repetition. It's something that is going to be continuous, especially if they're good habits. Getting 1% better every day counts for a lot in the long run. He talks about another analogy in the book that if you get 1% better every day for 1 year, then you're going to be 37% better for that entire year, which is a lot closer than half than we thought. But if you get 1% worse, if you don't even try and things like that, then every day for an entire year, you're going to end up less than where you started. You're going to end up being less than that 1%. So think about how hard it's going to take to get back to that. And there again, there's a graph in the book that he shows to break that down even the more. Um, okay, Frugal Mama says she's enjoying. Okay, good. Thank you. Hey, 1B, 1B. And miss nobody. Okay, cool. So, yeah, Atomic Habits by James Clear is a very interesting book. He gives a lot of stories and analogies throughout the book. And I'm just bringing out the quotes. We're still on chapter one. There's about 10 or 12 quotes per chapter that are very interesting. And it got me thinking as I'm talking. So I decided to start encouraging talks at 6 o'clock this week so we can get done. All right, the next one. Habits are a double edged sword. They can work for you or against you, which is why understanding the details is essential. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Habits could be, they can work against you or they can, yeah, especially if we haven't set up that routine or, uh, set up that goal and continuously push towards that effort of improvement to get to those results that we're accent or that we're trying to get to. Small changes often appear to make no difference until you cross a critical threshold. That makes sense, yeah. Because how many of us keep doing these small changes and then notice that they're not getting us the results that we want and we simply quit? Yeah. So sometimes we won't even see anything happening until we get to that threshold. So let's just say you're trying to lose 50 pounds in 3 months and you're doing this and that, and you get maybe to about the second month and you notice you only lost 35 pounds. Excuse me. And then at this point, you get discouraged and you're like, I'm not going to lose 15 pounds in a month. So you just quit. Well, at that point, you lost 35 pounds, yeah, but you didn't reach your ultimate goal of 50 pounds. Because you didn't push through to the threshold. I like it. Okay. The most powerful outcomes of any process is delay. You need to be patient. That's interesting. There again, he's letting us know that time is on our side. In this case, when you're trying to get better, when you're trying to build habits, good habits, time is on our side because it takes time to build those habits and it takes patience, obviously. An atomic habit is a little habit that is a part of a larger system. That makes sense. Just as atoms are the building blocks of molecules, atomic habits are the building blocks of remarkable results. That makes sense. So just a little bit at a time, slow and steady wins the race. Wow. Little bitty habits to make up that big habit to get to that big goal that we're trying to get to. Excuse me. If you want better results, then forget about setting goals. Focus on your system instead. Okay. So while I am working on goals right now, after I've achieved those goals, maybe I shouldn't erase them from the blue book. Maybe I should just check them off and then go back and try to make them better and try to figure out a system to make them better. That's obtainable. If you really put your mind to it, if it's something that you want to do, it's definitely obtainable. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Yep. Because there again, we don't have those routines um, and those practices that we're trying to do to get to our goals, then we're going to fall. Our system is going to fall, as they told us just a minute ago. Interesting. Good morning, Mysterious. We're reading Atomic Habits by James Clear. It is a very good book. Um it's a self another self-help book. Pretty cool. Okay, thanks for coming in, Mysterious. I appreciate you. So now let's go ahead and jump into chapter two's quotes. Chapter two is called How Your Habits Shape Your Identity and Vice Versa. Changing our habits is challenging for two reasons. We try to change the wrong thing and we try to change our habits in the wrong way. That's interesting. That's very interesting. We try to change the wrong thing and we try to change our habits in the wrong way. There are three layers of behavior change: a change in your outcomes, change in your process, and a change in your identity. This is another point in the book where he's going to show us a graph. It shows us that our identity is in the middle, the processes are right outside of that, and the outcome is outside on the outer perimeter. It's like a circle type of graph. So if we think about behaviors and looking at this graph, first of all, I need to change my identity. I need to change the way the way that I'm trying to change my habits. And then I need to change the process, the routine in which I've been doing this habit. And then the outcomes should become different. Interesting. Outcomes are about what you get, processes are about what you do, identity is about what you believe. Okay, so that broke down the graph even more. Identity is about what you believe, process is about what you do, outcome is about what you get. That's pretty much what we said, right? With outcome based habits, the focus is on what you want to achieve. Okay, yeah. So that's like a goal. With identity based habits, the focus is on who you wish to become. Interesting. So thinking about ourselves in the midst of a habit is going to help us focus on who we want to become. That's interesting. Huh. So that's another part of seeing ourselves in things versus seeing the habit itself or how it's good or bad for us. The ultimate form. Oh, wait a minute. I just lost my place. Okay. It is a simple two-step process. Decide the type of person you want to be, prove it to yourself with small wins. Yes, yes, yes. I feel that. I feel that. I've definitely been doing that. Me personally. Just to get up and maybe do my hair or put on my lashes or just try to look presentable for the day is big for me because I just kind of been in the house so many years and just kind of lost it. Um, but I finally decided that I wanted to be a certain type of person, and I guess I'm proving it to myself by getting up and doing that every single day. So that's interesting. It just takes the small things again. Um, slow and steady wins the race. Ask yourself, who is the type of person that could get the outcome I want? Hmm. Who is the type of person that could get the outcome I want so that you can show up in that way? The most effective way to change your habits is to focus not on what you want to achieve, but on who you wish to become. Boom. There again. Same thing we just said. Yes, yes, yes. Showing up who you want to become, showing up in that habit that you want to be, or that you want to, uh, excuse me, the habit that you want to achieve. I don't know, achieving a habit. Your identity emerges out of your habits. Every action is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Interesting. Your identity emerges out of your habits. Wow. So just based on my habits, it shows who I really am. Becoming the best version of yourself requires you to continuously edit your beliefs and to upgrade and expand your identity. Mm, okay. Continuously edit your beliefs and to upgrade and expand your identity. So that's saying that this is never going to end. No matter how far you get, it's there's still more work to do. And I just love this because it ties so much into um, my beginner's spiritual experience, and that's what I'm relating it to, my habits, things like that. The real person habits, the real reason habits matter is not because they get you better results, but because they can change your beliefs about yourself. Okay. So the only reason why habits even matter is to change my belief about myself and not to make life easier or make somebody else's life easier. That's good to know. Let me go ahead and see who I got here real quick. This is, y'all, this is interesting, right? Heather, there she is. Heather recommended this book. Hey, I'm enjoying it so much. Hey, good morning, Kelly. Good stuff. I'm guessing you probably read this book. I am accepting recommendations too for the next one. I'm enjoying these commentaries. Yes, thank you so much for putting everything there, Mr. Terry. I appreciate you. Hey, Odom, is a mind state of you believe you can achieve? Absolutely. Yes. Okay. Hey, Miss B. Miss B. Miss B. All right, here we go. Let's keep going. I had to start at 6 o'clock so we can get through 4 chapters a day. Heather, oh, love you, Tam. Thank you. I love you too, Heather. Hey, I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it. You are phenomenal, and I'm glad you recommended this book because this is awesome. All right, let's go to chapter 3. Chapter 3 is how to build better habits in 4 simple steps. All right, whenever you want to change your behavior, ask yourself these 4 things. How can I make it obvious? How can I make it attractive? How can I make it easy? How can I make it satisfying? Hmm. Okay. I wanted to change my behavior. How can I make it obvious? Well, it has to be obvious if I want to change it. It's sticking out to me like a sore thumb, obviously. How can I make it attractive? Well, even if it's not something that I really want to do, I got to find some type of joy in it so that I can get to it, right? How can I make it easy? Because we obviously like to work, we work smart, not hard, so it should be easy anyway if we follow that mindset. How can I make it satisfying so that again it doesn't feel like a chore? It can feel like I'm accomplishing something. Maybe I need to play some music. Maybe I need to, maybe I need to make it colorful. Maybe I need to add some fabric to it. It depends on what it is and what we're talking about, but that makes a lot of sense. A habit is a behavior that has been repeated enough times to become automatic. True, that makes sense. A habit is behavior. Yeah, it's been repeated, so that's why it's a habit. That makes sense. It's become automatic. And some habits are not good habits, so that's why we're here. We're trying to identify these things and figure out how to fix them. At least I am. Hey, hey, mother of twins, thanks for coming in. Okay. Thanks for being here. Don't forget to smash that like button. I appreciate y'all. This whole time I was just getting everyone's links and times and it just deleted it. Oh man. Oh. Um, all right, let me keep going. The ultimate purpose of habits is to solve the problem of life with as little energy and effort as possible. Wow. So there again, working smarter and not harder. And we don't mean physical work. It could be um, it could be mentally working on ourselves. This book right here, look, I'm gonna keep saying that because I just love it. Any habit can be broken down into a feedback loop that involves 4 steps. Any habit can be broken down into a feedback loop. A feedback loop. So giving myself feedback. Okay. Well, the 4 steps are cue, craving, response, and reward. Hmm. Any habit. Okay, so thinking about a habit, what cues that habit? What makes it a habit? What makes me crave that habit? How do I respond to that habit? And how do I get my reward out of that habit? Well, if you're not getting a reward, then it shouldn't be a habit. The four laws of behavior change are a simple set of rules we can use to build better habits. There's four laws of behavior change, and they are: make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, make it satisfying. Those are the ones we said at the beginning. Interesting. So if it's just that easy to make our habits these four laws of behavior, then why do we have bad habits? Hmm. All right, and finally, form good habits. Yep. Hey, Tamika. Hey, She. We here. Thanks for coming in. Yes, work harder, not smarter, not harder. Love it. Triggers. Yep. Heather says triggers. Okay. And Heather's read this book. Anybody else read this book? All right. We jumping into chapter four's quotes now. Chapter four is called "The Man Who Didn't Look Right." James Clear is the author of this book. He's given us a lot of analogies and a lot of stories in the book. So there again, I encourage you to pick it up. You could get it at the library. They'll probably let you have it for a couple weeks in order to read it through. And you can even get it on Amazon Audible and they'll read it to you. It takes about 5 hours. So it's really interesting. All right, chapter four. If you're having trouble determining how to rate a particular habit, whether it's good or bad, ask yourself, does this behavior help me become the type of person I wish to be? Mm, that's a big one. That's a big one. And does this habit cast a vote for or against my desired identity? Interesting. So let's just use the habit of smoking. Does this habit help me become the type of person I wish to be? No, I don't want to be unhealthy. Does this habit cast a vote for or against my desired identity? Against, yeah, absolutely. Because nobody wants to be associated with a smoker. So that, whew, that's head on right there. And for me, I don't know about you. With enough practice, your brain will keep up on the cues that predict certain outcomes without consciously thinking about it. Hmm. With enough practice, your brain will pick up on the cues that predict certain outcomes without consciously thinking about it. So my brain is going to pick up on the cues, which they just talked about in chapter three, the cues that are going to predict certain outcomes and certain habits or certain reactions. And we don't even have to think about it. Hmm. That's if we actually put into practice and actually think about what we're doing before we do it. Yeah, I said we because I'm assuming that somebody else out there might relate because I definitely do. Once our habits become automatic, we stop paying attention to what we are doing. Mm, that could be good or bad. I see. The process of behavior change always starts with awareness. True. Realizing that there is a problem or that there a change needs to be made. True. You need to be aware of your habits before you can change them. Boom. Absolutely. Pointing and calling, raising your level of awareness from a non conscious habit to a more conscious level by verbalizing your actions. Huh, interesting. Okay, my little baby just woke up. Sorry about that. So I started it before but never finished it. Okay, interesting. All right. Um, talking to the people. We'll say good morning. Say good morning. Morning, everybody. Okay. Good morning. Okay, I hope you're doing so great. I'm gonna do stew for tomorrow. Mm-hmm. The sun will be up in a minute. Okay. The habit card is a simple exercise you can use to become more aware of your behavior. The habit scorecard. Oh yeah, because there again, he's giving us another analogy, another tip in the book, and there's a lot of graphs and pictures and stuff in there too. So yeah, this has been interesting. I don't know about you, but I learned me something. We made it through chapters 1 through 4. Glory be to God, because I was nervous. um, got up a little bit early. We got it taken care of. And tomorrow we're gonna go through chapters 5, 6, 7, and 8. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Yep, 4 chapters a day.
Mama, you was you wasn't doing my house.
Yeah.
I want to Tom.
Okay. Um, so let's see. I think that's it. I think I got to the end of my notes here. You woke her up when you said story time. Probably. Time to get back to going to school today. We've been out for what, a few days. President's Day and all that. Last week was weird, but we're getting back to what we're used to today. Good morning, Ernesto. Thanks for coming in. Great summary. Thank you. I appreciate that. I can't wait to finish this up. So let's go ahead and get up out of here. I'm gonna head over to Frugal Mama pretty soon here, and I encourage you, if you're looking for consistency and genuineness and love and authenticity and all those good things, follow our Kingdom Builders community. Monday through Friday, it starts right here with me. And then we'll head on over to Frugal Mama, and then Unique Speaks, and then Miss B and Fam, and then Steve Gilmore. And every day of the week, there are so many more Kingdom Builders. Some pop up, some have Fridays, some have Mondays, and I'm going to post that on my community tab. Actually, I did that this morning. So check it out if you're interested. Leave me a comment after this live, please, and let me know what you think. And we'll keep this thing going. Have the best day. Put God first, and I will see you in these streets. Stay humble, stay encouraged, stay you. That's it. That's all. As always, remember, be true to yourself, because if you can't be true to yourself, you can't be true to nobody else. Bye bye.